So I'm literally sitting in the airport right now, about to fly into rural Queensland for a FIFO doctor stint. No idea where I'm going. Your guess is as good as mine. I literally Googled the name of the town this morning. Apparently there's only going to be one other doctor there, and I'm hoping they actually turn up. Let's do this. All right, I've just landed. I've found the rental car. I have picked up my luggage. Funny story, I actually picked up someone else's luggage by mistake. I've never seen someone else with this same suitcase that we have, and I thought it was very unique, so I didn't check the tag, and it turns out it was another lady's. Thankfully, she chased me out the airport and we swapped bags, but that could have been a very interesting start to this locum. So I got my stuff, we're ready to go. I think I've got about an hour drive to this hospital, and I have no idea what it's going to be like. I only Googled the name of this town that I'm going to this morning. I genuinely didn't know where it was until just today. Often people think becoming a doctor is teams, structure, working in the hospital, you have a routine. But actually there is alternative paths in medicine which are very different and unexpected. And in fact, I didn't even know this kind of career option was available when I was in med school, when I was in foundation. I didn't know this was a thing that you could do, that you could be a fly-in, fly-out doctor. I'm quite excited to share this lifestyle with you because I don't see a great deal of it online. I'm sure there's other locum FIFO doctors. I'm not too aware of many, and I think it's good to share the lifestyle so people know what's available, people know what they can do, what it's like. I'm hoping you'll enjoy this journey too. It is good. It's a nice lifestyle. You get a kind of freedom that I didn't know existed in this career. You get to travel, you get paid well, you get to work hard for periods of time, and then you just get to disappear for a bit. And disappearing for me usually means spending time at home, creating content, training, seeing my friends and family, and just chilling out. But at the same time, that freedom does come with a cost. That cost being uncertainty. You just don't really know what you're gonna get. Like, I've never been here before. I don't know what this town's gonna be like. I think my plane's taking off now. I don't know what the hospital's gonna be like. I don't know what the other team members are gonna be like. So there's a lot of uncertainty that comes with this freedom. You might think that FIFO stands for fly in, fly out. I think it actually stands for figuring it the fuck out as you go along. And speaking of uncertainty, I have no idea what this hospital accommodation is going to be like. That's our next stop. Got about an hour drive. I'll pick up the keys from the hospital, and fingers crossed it's not an absolute dive. Okay, I'm at the hospital, still in the car. I need to find where to pick up my keys. Apparently it's at the main reception, but everything looks very closed right now. And it's dark, and yeah. All right, let's find this reception. And to be honest, I think this whole place is mine. And this is a very nice locum accommodation. Let's have a quick look. Big bedroom. This is one of the best locum accommodations I've stayed in. Ooh, all right, let's bring the stuff in from the car. I found the keys, I found the accommodation, and now I'm here. This is actually one of the best locum accommodations I've been in. It's like a whole unit to myself. Got this lovely kitchen island, got a TV, got Netflix, and the whole place to myself. Some locum accommodations you can turn up and you're sharing with a number of other people, which is never as nice, it's always super dirty, but this is awesome. So I'm very happy with this setup. Got here a bit later because I actually decided to do some grocery shopping near the airport. I'm so grateful I did because there's literally no shops open right now. So if I got here, I basically wouldn't be able to have dinner tonight. So thank goodness I stocked up on some food. Now I'm just gonna prep dinner. I'm gonna edit some reels and then get an early night for my first shift tomorrow. First shift is done. I honestly thought I might have been sent to the wrong job. Good evening. So I didn't film anything before work with the pre-work jitters and not having much time in the morning, but the hospital accommodation's on site. Took me like 2 minutes to get to the hospital. But when I arrived, the nurse in charge was asking me if I had a provider number to work in the private GP practice next to the emergency, because they were understaffed there and that's where they really needed me. I was a bit confused, obviously, because I signed up to emergency, not GP. I'm also not a GP, I'm not qualified to do GP work. I can't bulk bill, for example. So after sending my locum agent a few messages, he clarified with the director of medical services, I was not here to do GP. Once I had addressed that and informed the staff that I was here to do emergency, they kind of let me just crack on. And yes, it was a bit stressful being asked to do something that is outside of my scope. And that is the gamble with some of these rural hospitals, is that you don't really know what you're going to get. And they often ask you to do things that you're not comfortable with. You just have to be very firm. This is what I signed up for. This is what I'm here for. And they just have to accept that, basically. But to be honest, once it was sorted and I was just doing the emergency work, it was a very chill day. I think I saw like 2 patients in the morning. I got to have lunch in the nice outdoor staff room, and then after lunch literally no patients came through until like right at the end, so I got to catch up on a lot of admin. And it is nice when you're paid well just to sit in peace. These locums can be quite funny. There can be a lot of chaos right next to a lot of peace, and you never really know what you're going to get. So far I've treated more emails than patients, so let's see if that ratio holds up. Now I'm just going to chill out in the hospital cook myself some dinner, maybe do a bit of video editing, a bit of stretching. I will catch up with you later. Bon appetit. Looks a bit depressing, doesn't it? But this is as good as it's gonna get in the hospital accom. But it is pretty tasty, to be honest. So my good fortune appears to be continuing. The ratio of emails to patients remains very high. We had a very chill morning. I forgot to mention that we actually do a little ward round for the hospital acute patients, and there's only 6 patients. They're all completely stable, just waiting, like nursing home placement and stuff. Then I saw 1 patient come through the actual ED, just like a really basic ear thing. And now I've got time to come back to the accommodation, made myself some eggs, and just relax for a little bit. So all in all, this rural placement seems to be going pretty smoothly so far, but we'll see how the rest of the week goes. So another successful day, another successful shift under my belt. Had a very chill morning. Got a little bit more busy in the afternoon, and by busy I mean I saw like 3 patients. And one of the patients in the afternoon was kind of sick. I ended up admitting her into the single last bed that we had free. Just like an exacerbation of COPD or emphysema. We'll see how she does overnight, and I'll see her again in the morning. And then I sutured a laceration on her finger. Actually, one of the interesting things about rural medicine is that the nurses really extend their scope of practice. And I was quite shocked to find that I could order x-rays here but the x-rays weren't being done by radiographers. They were just being done by nurses, or one nurse in particular. And apparently she's a qualified nurse and she just had to do an extra course. X-ray operator is her title. So she can do like basic x-rays of chest, limbs. So I ended up getting a chest x-ray and a finger x-ray. And that was all done by a nurse, which I thought was very cool. But yeah, another fairly chill day. Got lots of admin work done. Did see some interesting cases. And now I'm just going to enjoy my evening. Another thing I wanted to touch on very quickly is that one thing about these locums is when you're doing this fly in, fly out, you actually get out of your routine. You don't really get to train or go to the gym like you usually would. And I was planning on doing some exercise this evening, even though it's like nearly 7 p.m. I try and keep up some kind of physical activity. Otherwise you just end up letting yourself go, which is really not what I want. So I did see a pair of random dumbbells sitting outside the front of another person's hospital accommodation. The unit looks completely empty. I'm sure they won't mind if I borrow them for 30 minutes. So I'm gonna go steal them and see if I can do some bicep curls or something. Oh my God. 24 kilos each. They're like these adjustable dumbbell things. Basically just had to do like a 50 kilo farmer's carry down the road. But start my workout, I guess. For those of you who want to buy adjustable dumbbells, I highly recommend against it. I've just had to take it back to the slot things. It took me like 5-10 minutes just to work out how to make the weights lighter. So I've just taken off a load of the weights. Now they're a lot lighter, but they're still like super bulky. So these just take up so much room. Yeah, not a fan. Just get normal dumbbells, I reckon. Workout fini. That actually felt incredible to move my body. It's been a few days because of all the traveling and working and getting things together. So I feel really good. Now I'm just gonna have some dinner, do some video editing, and then go to bed, and we'll do it all again tomorrow. Who knows what tomorrow's gonna bring, but we'll see how it goes, and I'll see you then. Done my grocery shopping. Never in my life have I done a grocery shop mid-shift, so that's a bonus. I've come back inside because it's actually a little bit noisy outside, surprisingly, just with the birds, and there's some works going on, some building works going on across the road as well. It's an absolutely beautiful morning. Got to wake up to the sunrise, some birds chirping outside my window. And it's now Saturday morning, which means I finished my week here in this hospital. The last couple of shifts I did were probably equally as chill, and in fact the staff here, the nursing staff, let me go home early because there was not really many patients coming in. Although she sent me home early on the Thursday, and about 5 minutes later she had to call me back in because a patient had turned up, who actually turned out to be quite sick, and I ended up admitting her to the hospital here. No crazy helicopter trauma or snake bite or anything like that. I think that's one of the things with rural medicine, is that often there's a bit of expectation that all you see is like really crazy, serious stuff. You hear about the Royal Flying Doctor Service, but a lot of the time it can be very chill. Obviously it depends where you go. I think I've been particularly lucky at this place, and I've had a very chill week, and I've really felt like I needed it as well. Just some time to sit, yes, see a few patients here and there, but also time to just chill and switch off my brain. I got to script out some content. I got to plan a presentation for a conference I'm presenting at next month. And yeah, it's been one of my favorite weeks in medicine. Besides the confusion when I first arrived and they wanted me to work in the GP practice, besides that initial start, it turned out to be an amazing week. And I'm still really enjoying this freedom that this lifestyle is giving me, where I can essentially choose when and where I work. And to me, that uncertainty that I mentioned at the start of this video, the uncertainty of not knowing what the place is going to be like and how it's always going to be a bit of a gamble, whether the accommodation or the staff you're working with or how busy the hospital is, sometimes it really just pays off like this. And at this point in my life, I would happily take the uncertainty for the freedom. I used to think freedom meant quitting medicine, but it turns out it can also mean working in a town you've never heard of, seeing 3 patients and then watching the sunset. My week in this hospital is over, but I'm going straight to another hospital in the region. I'll be driving there tomorrow and then spending another week in a totally new place. I have no idea what it's going to be like. Another gamble. I've heard from the staff that work here that it is more busy, but I guess we'll just see how it goes. I haven't decided if I'm going to vlog that week too, or if I'm going to do a completely different topic. Either way, it'll be a new accommodation, new hospital, and still no idea how to order bloods. I'll see you next week. Literally a kangaroo outside my back door.